Hi there. Hello, viewers, whomever you all may be, might be, or could be. Anyways, I want this to be short about the difference, change in medication, psych medication I went through recently in the last couple of weeks. Okay, so I'm on the Vraylar transition from Abilify, which were both third-generation antipsychotics. Abilify being probably the first one that I read about anyway, and MD agreed we add a little bit to that to my risperidone, and it might cause some cognitive improvement, which it did. And so she upped it from the smallest dose, from 5 milligrams to 10, and it stayed there for 20 years. Everybody was happy, but the change in me, that knew me at the time, and the doctor and MD and I were happy, and so we just left it there. Then she moved on, and I stayed on that until just recently when I discovered and stumbled onto the fact that because the treatment was discovered for permanent nerve damage from the early antipsychotic, first generation, mostly it's caused by that, but it's called tardive slowing up later dyskinesia, involuntary movements, that covers up the damage it does, and then you get involuntary tremors and shaking and stuff going on, and if you stop taking it, it's out of control, and it's serious. It was considered permanent, but they developed a cure for it. So a treatment, not a cure, but a treatment to maintain the nervous system back like it's intact again, which is very impressive. It's subtle, but you can't see it, but I can feel it. It's like when I walk, I'm walking with more between my inside of my bone and my foot and muscle connected to the outside, tissue connected, and my hands feel to the surface of the skin again. So that already being underway for a year, then then I discovered, studying the tardive dyskinesia on Google Scholar Search, I came across medical journal papers I sent to my doctors, and I proved to them that they hadn't heard of it. They were shocked and surprised. But so, and I had my primary sent me for a scoliosis panel and a special X-ray machine in a bigger city, where you stand up and it takes the whole body X-ray. It just doesn't take a little plate X-ray. It takes the whole. It can take whole body X-rays too of the whole spine, how it's curved, and awry. And I knew I would benefit from that, but I didn't know how. I was talking physical therapy at the time, and then the evaluator assessor came back and she said, "Yeah, I see what you mean," because I learned the spine curves right from the top of the pelvic bone, dramatically to the right. Those first three vertebrae are curved, and that's what was causing the pinching of the nerves to the right hip from doing any of the physical therapy exercises this round around. That's what started it. I started on this treatment for the tardive dyskinesia, the Stedo, however you want to pronounce it, but Stedo. But that changed how my back therapy exercises were working from physical therapy from a few years earlier. So then 4 years ago now, they came back, and we tried some different things, but then I found that I understand what. So she said it's a very complex case indeed. Because anyway, she agreed. She did her final note taking an interview with me yesterday, and type up a review for my primary, and I got to call their office to make sure the psych nurse gets it too, but a practitioner. So the offending agent, the aripiprazole, or brand name Abilify, is out of my system now for a while, a week or so, I guess, at this point. And I feel totally different, this new sense of calm about myself. And, so the point I wanted to make was, one of my retired friends who keeps in touch with me sent me some the legal paper links to how the Abilify company was sued and what for. Okay, you can only sue, I guess. Somebody told me, a chemist friend told me, that when a pharmaceutical company learns something about their drug, but withholds it from the authorities, the information from the authorities. So apparently the scoliosis hasn't been withheld from Abilify. It's known. I wanted to read you, where did it go? Okay, so reporting this to my psych nurse, that as the Abilify got out of my system, I was feeling like the curve to the right was not, the muscles weren't pulling on it anymore. The muscles were released, and there was extreme less pain. Not extreme pain. I mean, there was very little pain compared to normal for moving around, and pinching off the nerves wasn't as bad, and in my hip. But I still have to. So she said, yeah, another X-ray in 6 months or a year would be interesting to see the difference. Now, this isn't a physical therapist specialist, so so the aripiprazole, the Abilify, was pulling the muscles down and pulling my shoulder down, like a neurological antagonization of my nervous system, and then the compulsory stuff I was talking about. Okay, the study she shared with me said they were busted, or the class action lawsuit that they're no longer taking clients for, but there's 2,400 clients in this class action lawsuit against the Abilify company because they hid the fact that it causes compulsive gambling, shopping, eating, and sex. Okay, it can cause that. So they hid that from people, from the authorities. So I didn't find any of that so much a problem. But what I did find compulsive about my nature was the need to communicate with people, or to be sociable, or just to talk to other people, and not be alone. So antagonized being alone. So I have a new piece about myself, calm about myself, that I'm not. It's new and it's good. It's beneficial and positive on a advanced, more third generation antipsychotic, Vraylar, than the Abilify, as we replaced with one with the other. So now the other's one's out of my system. My back feels like, I went for a walk today by myself, and the walk yesterday I was out of my system. Was the aid was good, I think, in the morning. We walked, yeah, we had to walk around construction out there, but we walked a good ways, and I felt better. And it felt different walking. Like my back wasn't antagonized and pulled so far out of place where it hurts and it's so disjointed. It feels more like it wants to go back into place, the spine, but it can't because it's grown so out of place. So, but the muscles are no longer pulling it out of place, clenching it, like gripping it and pulling it, in this direction. From the Abilify, it's out of my system, and it's not stopped. And it stopped doing that. I noticed the difference, and it's for the medical authorities are saying absolutely true. So we say that the best thing to do is to just keep on the walking for therapy for now, because that's the only thing that can work to get those muscles used to being not clenched around that spine, pulling it so tight. That's the only pain that's left is those muscles now, and the spine is out of place too. I feel that. But anyway, I want to read you. So my psych nurse practitioner said, I just spoke with the medical liaison for Vraylar. She did not see anything in the medical literature regarding scoliosis in Vraylar, but she did note that the aripiprazole can cause muscle pain, stiffness, and tightening. So that may be the root of the problem, and hopefully it'll improve with removing the aripiprazole, the walks, and physical therapy, etc. So that's what the medical people are saying about this change in their Abilify. It can do this to people. Is it dangerous then? I've said all along these drugs can cause tardive dyskinesia, which is dangerous, and that was what the nightmare that fueled my whole psychosis in the 1980s and 90s, was the fear of that being destroyed by chemicals that did that, and there was no alternative to them, and until there are now. There's a new fourth generation antipsychotic that's brand new, Abilify, however you pronounce it. My nurse practitioner hadn't heard much about it, like I hadn't either. Just something brand new that had been announced recently. But my candidate for that, I don't know. The one that made me well was too much of a change that every doctor I've talked to since, who knew that up to great difference, said it wouldn't be important, and nobody in their right mind would change it. The one risperidone that made me well to begin with. But these additional antipsychotics give me more insight and intellectual ability, verbal ability, and intellectual ability, insight, so that's why I need to add a secondary and a third edition and a generation antipsychotic in the first place. But so I'm happy with the changeover, and I feel my back is like not bothering me to walk so far now. Like I went out today and took a drive and the dirt roads and just in the middle of nowhere. But I like to drive like that and not pass another car the whole way. then I feel safe because I'm worried about the other drivers, so I don't drive. But in traffic anyway, I can drive the car down the road, but as long as there's nobody else going crazy shit on it in front of me, or I have to deal with out of the blue. Too much out of the blue stuff goes on. I don't like it. I like peace and harmony and balance and, you know, levitation to my world, you know, a little bit. But so I'm feeling a lot better on this medication changes the overall picture. And my back, I guess by walking, it's not being antagonized now and pulled. So maybe it'll straighten out over 6 months to a year of continuing 3 times a week of walking as the weather permits. And winter's not going to stop me. I got boots. So thank you for your interest in following up on me. I'm feeling much better, actually, on this changeover. Much, much better. My back is, too. My back condition is, too, caused by the aripiprazole or Abilify. Terrible.